Abantu abaningi basempumalanga babamba amamike. Lapha sebenza kakhulu talent alikhona. Ukhulumile nami Mr. Mongezi earlier on ukuthi we are talented differently. So please don't die with that song still in you. Let it out, let it out. This is the platform. You can also engage with him after the session just to get the details for you to start. And again, it may not be yourself, but it may be a sister, a brother, a relative, someone that you know. Even the small ones, this one, that's serious ngalaga music. Ngicela umfakela kulomfo fast. Lomfo de wayesebenza ngayo ngiyambona ukuthi uyile esikolweni wayefundisa lento uyayiphila lento. This is good. Nkasimshayele tandla once again.
Illustrate that.
We want to go to all these programs or these items are important. Tumfuna kusikhulumisa ukuthi sesake correct nasebusuku uye nomhluphile noba Makhweyane lekhathi banarate ni ready obviously ready but angifuni ukuthi ngene manje ngizalana nithi prepare kancane ngifuna siye kwe message keynote address for today from National Health Council atokhuluma nathi it's Dr. M. Tawane, a female. Please pay attention to what she will be saying to us. Asad gebabe zonke ukuthi indzaba yakho ye-funding utoyikhuluma yini mhlambe ngangena ngelifastero akutshele ukuthi hamba ulanza imali lungisa i-bank account. It's over to you, man. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Sanibonani. Ninjani. Unfortunately, that is what I can say in the home language. I was telling colleagues earlier that I think and I believe I'm the only one in the room. My name is Miriam Tawani. I am an employee of the National Heritage Council. We are based in Pretoria in Gauteng, but we service the rest of South Africa. We are an entity of sports, arts and culture, and we have to really be on a national footprint. And today we are going to talk about storytelling. But before all of that, and I'm not alone, colleagues, I am here with our council member. He is representing Mpumalanga in the council, Mr. Nkosi. I don't know if he was introduced earlier when I had to step out. And there are two ladies that I have with Sis Gugu and Sis Bongiwe. They are sitting there in the beautiful red and pinkish attire. So that is the team from the National Heritage Council. We saw it fitting to come here and also support the initiative of storytelling. Because one of the speakers before me did say that he's not fluent in Isiswati. He attended probably the schools that we send our kids to. I had the same situation at home. My son, I did not study Tswana at all at school. But from a young age, I had a solution for that. I would send him a text in Setswana. Because I said to him that you have books in Setswana that you have to read. Even the Bible that we are using at home is in Setswana. I would send this long text in Setswana and then he will respond with emojis, those crying emojis. Because he was struggling to read it. I said he will respond in Setswana. He will respond and say, please send a voice note. I said, I can't hear you. What are you saying? So right now, even though he did not study Setswana, he is now fluent even in writing the language because we provided those materials for him. When we go home to the rural areas, we can't expect him to speak English to the elders. So that's one of the reasons that we had to make sure that we cannot educate kids that cannot really converse with us and speak this fluent English with Gumagogo at home. No, really, we would be losing a little bit of who we are. But we strayed a little bit. Probably these are the initiatives for us to go back on track and preserve what we can as Africans. I did say I will introduce the National Heritage Council in detail. We have a mandate from the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture. Our mandate is to preserve and protect our heritage. That is very diverse in this country. I mean, we have 9 official languages. and that comes with a lot of living heritage, that comes with a lot of indigenous knowledge system. We have to preserve that. And ours, we come from a generation where the resources were not provided to our elders so that they can archive, they can document, they can conserve, and they can preserve storytelling, folklore, folk tales. Our people, I grew up in a generation where after school, in the early evenings, we will be surrounding our grandmother. My father is the last born at home, so we are in the homestead. Our grandmother, we were 6 of us at home. Our mother was working Gauteng, our father was working Gauteng. It was her and the aunt that we raised us at home. So she would tell us these tales about, the normal storytelling. In Setswana, there are famous ones that, the one that I can quote now is Zelani. It's like there was this lady who had to overcome several challenges in the form of this gigantic animal. I don't know, probably it has a comparison in the language of Swati, also in Nguni languages. So the moment she sits down, there is this phrase in Tswana, they would say irile, that means once upon a time. So you know that you have to take your seat next to her and listen and absorb everything that you know she will be telling. And that's what we are here to do. We are here to preserve this culture of storytelling and also to document. Mr. Makhweyane did say that there will be a production of a book down the line. I know storytelling probably evolved into bedtime stories, but the problem with us Africans, we are reading English bedtime stories to our kids. Yeah. Yes, that is something that we really need to address. Yeah. We need to practice writing bedtime stories in our language so that when you are taking that little baby to bed, you are narrating something in their mother language. So that is just what we exist for, to promote indigenous knowledge system, to preserve the living heritage. That is the National Heritage Council. And we have several platforms where we support initiatives like this. We are a national body. We have some funding that we support. We support non-profit organizations. We support NGOs. We support heritage projects in communities. If you know you have a heritage project that you want us to assist with, be it maybe you want to write a book, you want to document some of the living heritage initiative. Yesterday the team had to populate some of the information. We have a website that we call the National Inventory Office, where we are documenting all of the living heritage activities in our online platforms. So if you have a project of that nature and you really want to apply, visit our website. Our website is www.nhc.org.za, and then you will see all the different initiatives that you can apply for. We have the Ubuntu initiatives. We have NHC funding. We have NHC PESP. We are also supporting the Resistance and Liberation Heritage Projects. So there is a lot that really you can partner with us. But of course, as a government entity, that day we do not do things in envelopes. You don't give us your bank account and then we sort you out. You have to go through the application processes. We have to comply with the PFME, otherwise Treasury will lock all of us. I don't think I will look good in an orange overall. So we are trying to avoid that by all means. So go to our website, guys, and let's utilize the initiatives that we have. We had challenges previously with Mpumalanga, with the applications that were coming from Mpumalanga, especially for the Heritage Project. There has been some great improvement. Now we are really funding good projects from Mpumalanga, but let's keep up, let's spread the message. And every year we are advertising several applications, several funding opportunities. We have Ubuntu, we have Gosha, we have the National Heritage Fund that we run annually. We have the Presidential Employment Stimulus Fund that we are running for Treasury at the Department of Science and Technology. Sports, arts and culture. My apologies, I used to work for science and technology, so they are no longer the ones paying my salary, so they are not supposed to be mentioned here at all. So we don't know how long we'll be running PESP, but those are the initiatives that really you need to go into a website and peruse through our website. If you have any other questions, there are emails that you can send queries to, and then we will respond accordingly. But coming back to the I see a question here, but I will attend to the questions afterwards if MC allows me to attend to questions after I have done the keynote address. But today, let's go back to the purpose of our gathering. We are here to celebrate the culture of storytelling. We are here to celebrate that has been for generations, a practice that our elders are really exposed us when we were growing up. The kids of today, the early generations, I don't think they have experienced storytelling as much as some of us did as a cultural practice. And what is storytelling is just an old practice where a story has been told again and again, and sometimes it evolves based on the characters that the storyteller will infuse. But storytelling has different characteristics. Mostly it has the moral of the story. Really it ignites a good moral standing. It will ask you questions to assess yourself. They usually have an element of teaching us something. The best example will be the storytelling of the hare and the tortoise. What are you going to learn from there? When they were racing through and the other one said, I can beat you, and then the tortoise lined up there that was running the entire marathon. And then we have several ones that between the jackal and the lions, the writers have contributed a lot regarding that. What do you learn from that? Do you have to be physically strong, or do you have to use your brain sometimes in a difficult situations where the jackal most of the time really outwit the lion in really just getting out of the sticky situations, or even tricking it for it to do things that the jackal knew it could not do because it did not have the strength. So that's what we really we need to absorb from the culture of storytelling, the culture of folktale. Usually they will say folktale, folklore, storytelling, but all of those fall within the same meaning, the same similarities. And the word folktale actually has a German origin. They are saying folk, it is the word that means people, which means when you are referring to folktale, you are saying stories about the people, stories for the people. So usually the storytellers, they will tell us stories that really have some meaning to them, or they learn something from them. That's just what we are here to discuss. Storytelling, we know it has been shared orally from generations, and it is something that really we need to correct. We grew up where our grandparents were narrating it, but because we were exposed to writing, we did not document them, we did not write them. Now we have the resources to do exactly that, so that our kids really can learn about these mystic animals that we got exposed to through storytelling. Others did wonders that some of us cannot really achieve. I think more than anything, they ignite hope in one's presence. And usually storytelling, they have these characteristics of occurring in natural settings. You would have to really pick up in that story that is narrated which element speaks to you as a human being, which one is building you to be a better person, which one is guiding you, which one is advising you. And I hope for today's session, really we will get all of those little pockets when we are listening to the participants today. I'm sure they are going to teach us a lot today. And folk tales can be used to teach children about cultural practices, about really character traits, and more than anything, if we really are documenting them, to develop stronger reading skills on our children, and also to build, to give them consequences on decision making. Some of this storytelling, they will guide you that you do wrong will happen to you eventually. You outsmart people in a bad way, bad things will happen to you. So these are the practices really that we really need to go back and use them to inspire our communities. We live in spaces where there are so many social ills, there are so many problems. We are facing socio-economic challenges, we are facing poverty. Somebody is sitting at home extremely depressed, but just being in a setting like this, because there is nothing that really can bind us together, that can bring us together and just enlighten our mood. Even though storytelling is not only solely to be absorbed for entertainment, but sitting like this, in a situation like this, you would come here having really forgotten about that crisis of that big bill that you have to pay because it's month end, people are collecting what is due to them in our bank accounts. So a session like this refreshes one's mind. That's what we, as much as we are learning, also it helps us to relax and connect with each other. I think that's really the purpose of storytelling, to teach us about our history, to teach us about the populations that surround us, because some, in most populations, they will narrate about the kings that lived before time. So there is always something to learn from folk tales, something to learn from narrating a story. That's something really that we need to really pay attention to, the message behind the story being narrated. I'm not going to take long. MC, I don't see our MC here. Maybe I can go on forever because he's not here, and then I will get off stage when he comes back. But that's usually the best traits that we need to absorb from storytelling, to really teach us where we come from and where we are going as a society, what our grandparents, our elders went through, and what can really we do better. Especially for the Ubuntu aspect, that's something that really, as the National Heritage Council, we take seriously and we are preaching every day. You are because I am. As Africans, we are raised and we grew up in communities where my neighbor is somebody that I regard as a relative. He is one of my own. So through all of these activities, they are teaching us to really lean on each other, to support each other, to be that one united force as a community. But now, especially you see that practice best in rural areas. In township settings or in urban settings, we are no longer practicing that Ubuntu. I live in my place where the fence is so high, I don't even know who is my neighbor. But that's not an African concept of living. So activities like this, and I hope to God, Mr. Makhweyane, I can't wait to read the book. I don't know if it will be written in Siswati. I will be lost there, but I'm sure will translate for me. But I cannot wait to read the book and also to grasp that message that will be narrated within that book. What do they serve? Storytelling within our society. I've already said that they bring us together as for us to really achieve one united purpose, to raise our kids within the moral campus that really we can be proud of. Because these mystic animals, they really relate to all of us, to teach them that sometimes good pays, good deeds really pays. There is the saying that good deeds goes unpunished. I think we need to walk away from that. We need to teach our kids that be a positive human being to be around, so that we raise a society that is not really plagued with ill activities. When you look at the statistics these days, when you open your television, everything is oriented around crime, GBV. We need to really use platform like this to spread a good positive message that we are a community, we are one person. So I think that is a purpose. And as cultural objects, folk tales, they really need to be protected so that we communicate what they really stand for the future generations. And colleagues, those that are here to really teach us about storytelling or to share their journey, you know that it can be a heritage resource. Storytelling can be your income. It can be your source of income. For example, we know Meg Jinamshop. She is well known in the country. She is surviving as a storyteller, as a narrator. Why can't you, from Bombela, really be one of those top 10 storytellers that we can 5 years down the line look at and say, from the MASA 2025, this talent was identified, and she or he has been given resources to survive this long, and really you are using your heritage as a resource for you to survive on. We have tourism in our country, and they are utilizing heritage as a resource, but us, the custodian of heritage, we are not utilizing it as a resource, something that really you can put meals on the table. That's something when we are doing initiatives like this, you need to ask yourself, how can I use this talent to feed my family? That's a discussion where NPOs, NGOs really need to strengthen the discussion, so that we don't just come here once a year, you tell us about your stories and then we remember you again next year. No, we need to be in conversations on how we can equip you, how we can educate each other, assist each other, so that 3 years down the line, you are now having said, I have mentored 3-4 storytellers that I am now financially supporting or financially assisting, so that they are also using heritage as their resource. I think that's one thing really that we should really take to heart. And who can forget that the 13-year-old Botlhale Boikanyo? She won South Africa's Got Talent in 2012. And when the Nelson Mandela Children's Hospital was opened, she presented the very same poem that she presented at the finals in New York during the inauguration lecture of that. So there are opportunities in storytelling. We are just not here to preserve indigenous knowledge system. We are just not here to entertain each other, but we are here to open opportunities for us to feed those that depend on us. And in closing, ladies and gentlemen, before our program director take the mic from me, I would like to quote 3 speakers for you today. Jimmy Neil Smith, the founder of International Storytelling Center, he once said, we are all storytellers. We all live in the network of stories. There isn't a stronger connection between people than storytelling. And then, I'm going to save this one for last. Nelson Mandela once said, if you talk to a man in a language he understands, that goes to his head. If you speak to him in a language that he speaks, that goes to his heart. I keep that right now. I will come back to it. One of the American public radio personality, Ira Glass, once said, great stories happen to those who can tell them. So to the contestant of today, while we are here telling you stories, do exactly what our previous president said. Touch our hearts, touch our soul, ignite a moral soul searching in us. Speak to us, educate us, and give us moral lessons, because really, with the world that we are living in today, we can never ever have enough moral lessons. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.